incident. I just got hit by an 18-wheeler on the side of the interstate. I have pieces of the fender in my hair. It's oil all over my body. I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna get back to telling the story, and I'll show you the footage. After driving the 6 hours home, showering, and processing it all, here's the story. About 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, me and my daughter were driving to Charleston, South Carolina for her Sweet 16 birthday getaway. We came up to a truck with a trailer and its flashers were on, so we slowed down some, and that's when I noticed there was an overturned vehicle in the fast lane. And it looked like it just happened. I pulled over, I put my flashers on, and I told my daughter to stay in the car, and I ran over. It was a van, and I ran over, and there were so many people in this van, and they were just trying to get out, and I asked if they'd called the cops, and they said, we're just trying to get out. And they were helping this woman out off the side of the van, and I grabbed her hand and I helped her get down, and she seemed out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around, and I said, baby, you gotta sit down. And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body, and I got up and I could hear screaming, and I just focused in on one screaming, and it was my daughter, and all I could do was run across the highway and tell her to get back in the car. She had to move the car because if somebody else hit us, it could hit her. So she moved the car farther up the interstate, and I called 911, and they said they were on their way. And then all I could think to do was get to my daughter. And that's all I could do in that time. And when I was walking to my daughter, we're really running. The best that I can do, I was in so much pain. My chest felt like an elephant was sitting on it. My legs were so hurt and sore. And I looked up, and there was an 18-wheeler that had crossed the median into oncoming traffic, and I knew that's what hit me and ran over, and brushed over me was the 18-wheeler. And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law, and I just tell her we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm going to post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son. I will not be posting the vehicle in the video because somebody did pass away. They did. And I won't be posting that for respect for their family. I'm sore, I'm bruised all on the right side of my body. I'm very stiff everywhere. But I will keep you guys updated, and the video is going to come at the end, okay? Hug your family tight. Hug your family tight. Bye.
Welcome to Pro Truth and Provoking Thought Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Now, unless you've been high under a rock, singer-songwriter Angie Stone passed away allegedly March 1st, 2025. Now, allegedly, the singer passed away in a black Sprinter van with her band members or her staff, and they were somewhere in Alabama, and they had just left the show and they were headed somewhere else for her to perform. I don't know where. And allegedly, they had an accident with an 18-wheeler. Now, word on the street is Angie survived the van crash and escaped from the van after the crash and was sitting on the side of the road when this lady in this video helped her. And allegedly, that's when Angie was struck by a truck, I believe, and was killed. Listen, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. All we can do at this time is speculate because I really don't believe nothing that the news say. I don't believe it was an accident. I believe it was a cover-up story. I have my reasons. I believe it was a sacrifice, because Angie was claiming that she was owed money for royalties. So that's what I believe. However, this woman said she was on the scene when all of this went down. So I don't know. It's just speculation right now. But however, I do have a whole bunch of questions, as I'm sure do some of you. So these questions are in no particular order, but just whatever comes to the top of my head. So inquiring minds want to know, why is there no real footage of the accidents on the news media outlets? It's like it's not a lot of coverage about this story on the news outlets. All we really see is like TikTok videos, you know what I'm saying? And this lady, word of mouth from her account of her being there, her testimony. Also, what else do I want to know? Why is the alleged incident site not a memorial? Usually when people pass away, they make that, their incident area, they usually turn it into a memorial, where people leave like teddy bears and flowers, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been 2 weeks. Actually, it's been longer than 2 weeks, because she died on the 1st. Today is the 19th. So it's going into 3 weeks. So I don't feel like it's too soon, because they've already had her funeral services. She had 2 funeral services. So how come it's no memorial site? Why haven't nobody left flowers and teddy bears and stuff? I mean, that's normally what people do. I'm just asking. I'm just wondering. People normally do like balloon releases. I'm just wondering, y'all. I'm just throwing questions out there. Like, I know I can't be the only one with questions. How come the survivors are silent? Now that I can understand why they may be silent, because it's supposed to be an investigation going on in an autopsy. So I can get why the survivors are silent. I can kind of get that one. But just still, inquiring minds want to know. And also, this the biggest number one question that I have, and I know I'm not the only one. How is it that it was 9 people in the Sprinter van, and Angie was the only one who was killed? Why come? Not how come, but yes, I said why come. Because tell me, okay, why was this lady claiming that she was owed millions of dollars, and she said that she was suing UMG, okay, Universal Music Group record label, a few months back, and now all of a sudden, a few months fast forward to March 2025, and allegedly she was the only one who was killed in the crash, or was killed immediately following the crash. How come? You mean to tell me it was 9 people in the van and she the only one who got killed? She the only one who lost her life. Then nobody else lose their life. Nobody else. Nobody except Angie. I mean, come on, make that make sense. The van supposedly flipped 2 or 3 times. But, and I'm not saying this because I wanted anybody else to lose their life. Of course, I would never want anybody to lose their life. Especially if they don't have to. But the math is not math, and I'm sorry. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay? The math is not mathing. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments.
For 8 other individuals inside the van at the time of the accident, but Angie Stone was the only person killed. The other individuals were the driver Lethal Carter of Atlanta, Georgia, who was transported to Baptist Medical Center in Montgomery for treatment, Anthony Majors of Atlanta, Georgia, Ashton Evans of Ellenwood, Georgia, Dante Daly of Stone Mountain, Georgia, James Owens of Atlanta, Georgia, Sheila Hopkins of Katy, Texas, Shuri Murphy of Ellenwood, Georgia, and Sharita Murphy of Ellenwood, Georgia. Sharita gave an update on social media stating, "We are banged up, bruised a bit, and are in some pain, but we are okay." Angie Stone's family is in the process of planning a large memorial service in Atlanta for all of her famous friends and fans, which will be followed by an intimate funeral in Columbia, South Carolina. The singer's representative, Deborah R. Champagne, recently spoke with TMZ and disclosed there have been theories about how the crash happened, but says she and no one else is allowed to speak about it until the official report from authorities have been released.
I'm gonna need each and every one of you guys after I reveal this to share this. The devil was very, very, very particular in targeting me.